And welcome to the chat on Newsday Amarillo and News Channel 10-2. I'm David Lovejoy.
Hello, I'm Rhonda Lahnert.
And like fine wine, I'm vintage, Chuckalicious, Chuck Williams.
And it's time to get your Laff Therapy on. Our man Karlton Johnson, one of Amarillo's favorite sons, a star of screen and stage, joins us this morning. And one of his big missions, not only to entertain you, but to keep your mindset and your health in a great place. And Carl's going to dive into something that's really close to me because I've witnessed this happen to a family member. Strokes. Strokes are just a devastating thing. And no matter how big or small, it takes a chunk out of you. And it's one of those type of things that not only affects the person who has it, but it affects the people around them, because it has such a lasting effect over them. Karlton, how you doing today, brother?
I am doing fantabulous. I saw myself on HBO this weekend.
What show?
Oh, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
Curb Your Enthusiasm, yeah.
Grandkids saw me, so it's funny when they're looking at TV and looking at you, and I'm looking at my wallet knowing I'm still broke, but fuss about it. They're looking at me,
yeah, they're thinking, where's that Mercedes for graduation?
Right.
You with Larry David there. What are some of the things and some of the reasons behind strokes? Talk.
First, stroke is the number one cause of disabilities or to be disabled in the country. And one of the things that really causes a stroke is anxiety, pressure, stress, blood pressure. All of these things are in conjunction that'll cause a stroke. And stroke is basically you have some blood vessels that are being blocked or clogged, or, your blood pressure goes too high, and the expression, pressure busts pipes.
Right.
And it's a lifestyle thing that a lot of us, just FYI, I think I was possibly in my 40s before I really, really realized you have to check your blood pressure on a daily, on a regular basis. And they had started putting these little blood pressure checks in the pharmacies, and you check it. It wasn't that big of a deal, but by the time you realize you have high blood pressure, you have had high blood pressure for years, possibly. That damage has already been done, and now you're putting a lot of extra pressure on your heart, and that heart is like that's your lifeline to keeping you alive. Your brain is important, but that heart is what pumps. That heart stops,
It's over.
Say it again. Sound like a rap song.
It's over.
It's over. So that's one of the reasons that we have stroke. And unfortunately, I have a little history, like you were telling me a minute ago, with some stroke. And as a black man in America, our rates of strokage, our rate of strokage is higher than our average counterparts. Hispanic rates are pretty high. Our Caucasian rates, they're kind of low. They probably are going up a little bit with all the turmoil. I'm just saying that within the turmoil that's going around here and the divisiveness. But lifestyle also has a lot to do with stroke. And before we go any further, let's talk about FAST. FACE. FAST. FAST. FACE. When you look at a person in their face, they got a man down in the corner. If you look at a person in their face, it's
Right.
going stale. That's face. That's a quick assessment. Ask them a question. Then can they smile? And then T, time. Time is of the essence. You need about 15 minutes or no more than 15 minutes or so to get them some medical attention. Or you could suffer extensive problems like People don't regain usage of their hands or their speech. And in your brain, there's a Warnick's area, and there's a broker area. Whatever doctor figured this out, he gets to name it. So, he's like, put a little flag up on your brain. Now, you can get what they call anterograde or retrograde amnesia from these strokes. There are people who can't remember anything forward, and there are people who can't remember anything backwards. And it can be very debilitating. Now, let's just talk about SES, social economic status. If one person has a stroke in the household, look at the repercussions that are going to come. Say they're the breadwinner. Say they're half of the breadwinner. Now we need to put some of those funds into rehabilitation. And we say that word rehabilitation like we got money to go, we can make him. I used to watch the $6 Million Man. We can rebuild him. We can,
Right.
I'm out here where Sinai Hospital is. And if you get a problem, you notice all those movie stars, they go to Sinai.
Right.
That's the top medical. I mean, if you got, we can rebuild him with that. But if we don't have that type of Sinai, I'm making it rain. Oh, Chuck, I knew you had some play in you. He called the paper.
Yeah.
But one of the things we must really do now is we must change our lifestyle. And part of that is learning to communicate so that we can bring the temperature down in the room and identify what style of communication you use. Do you use an aggressive style of communication? Aggressive people, they get their point across, they get their thoughts out there, but they lack boundaries and they're kind of rude. They're like here. They got fight or flight going all the time. They're aggressive. Then you have the passive aggressive people, which can also cause stress and tension and depression and some other issues, which brings the blood pressure up. And passive, we've heard that, passive aggressive, and basically those people, they have difficulty expressing themselves, and they use indirect communication, sarcasm. Like, how was your ride over here? It was great. If you like sitting in the back seat. How we took you out for dinner last night. How'd you like that? Oh, it was all right. If you think fast food is, elegant,
Yeah.
And that's kind of an example of that passive aggressive style. Then you have the passive style, and those people have a difficulty. They have difficulty expressing themselves, and they're the ones that they kind of get walked over. Okay, well.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna have some pizza, Rhonda. What you want on your pizza? Whatever you
care. Yeah.
Yeah. What? You doing all right today? Yeah. And then that's that passive. Then you have assertive. Now good job. And action. Oh, it's okay. Then you have that. Then you have the assertive style of communication. Which is the best form. It's the healthiest form. It's where people can express their thoughts, express their feelings, and they express them well. And when we learn to communicate, we can bring the temperature down in the room, and we learn not to use trigger words like why questions. Don't ask people why questions certain times, because why is like you're accusing them. Try to learn to say, I don't like it when you... Why do you do that all the time? Just tell, I don't like it when you leave your socks in the middle of the floor. Or I don't like it when you come up behind me at work and you touch me on my shoulders.
Right.
Keep it down. Or like never. Never words are trigger words, and they're negative words. You never listen.
Right.
You never do what I say.
We've got to take a quick break here. We'll be back with more Laff Therapy right here on the chat on Newsday Amarillo at News Channel 10-2.